Broadcasting live from Throne of the High City on the plain of Paliano, this is Tap Tap Concede.
Hi.
I like that Paliano is a plain,
Yeah.
not
What's more
just a
like,
city.
It's a disc.
Is it really?
Well, it reminds me of Beijing in Deus Ex,
Oh, yeah.
where it's up on pillars.
Oh, right, Hengsha.
Yeah, Hengsha. Yeah.
Not Beijing.
Yeah, sorry.
Air quotes. Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is, yeah, right, because it's Paliano, the high city.
Yeah, literally the yeah.
Yeah.
I do get kind of a Discworld vibe from Paliano, though, with like the sort of the intrigue and like the sort of medieval fantasy, but with some technology setting.
Well, like
ghosts.
like Maro said on his blog, if it's not at common, it's not the theme for the set, and murder is a common.
Yep. Yeah, fair enough.
So
Also, because we're going to be talking about a little bit about conspiracy. Today's a hi, I'm Graham,
I'm Kathleen.
And I'm Cameron.
and today's a mailbag episode, but we're going to talk a little bit about conspiracy too. And I like that that wasn't intentional. Conspiracy 2 as well. And they said that there's reprints in the set, and if the reprints, even if they have alternate art, do not actually take place on Paliano. They're
Really?
just other cards in the set. Well, because Phyrexian Arena is in the set.
Yeah.
And they
And
don't
then-
want to spoil the flavor of.
The new art for Phyrexian Arena
Yeah, it has cost.
is Koth fighting in the Phyrexian Arena. So it's like, no, Koth isn't on Paliano. That's not what this is.
Right.
This is just, we wanted
But-
to reprint this card with some sick art.
No, wait, but that does mean Koth is alive.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Confirmed Koth is alive, where he was thought to be dead.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, you know, I guess that makes sense that the Phyrexian Arena isn't on Paliano. That makes no sense at all. But also, Koth is alive.
Yeah.
Whee!
I guess he's been captured.
Well, he's fighting in the arena.
Yeah. And they're
He's-
putting him to work.
No kidding. Anyway, let's start with a crack-a-pack. Kathleen,
All right.
roll that dice.
Do 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 do. Do 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 do
Or
do.
hurl it across the room. 13.
13. Lucky 13. 1, 2, 3,
Ooh, going from the
4,
back of the box today.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
some spice
10,
in there.
11, 12, 13. Ooh, Nemesis.
Nemesis.
This was the second time
weird-
I started playing Magic. Was around Nemesis.
What a weird skeleton horsefish on the front of that. This was given to us by Shivam at GPLA. So this must have been someone
wow.
James ran into down at GPLA. Thank you, Shivam.
I think Nemesis was from Masks block.
I think so too, because it's got a little mask on as the set symbol.
Yeah, it does,
Yeah.
kind of. Does it say? No. It just says these collectible cards represent magical spells and fantastic creatures. So that's cool. All right.
Is this one of those sets where the rare is at the front?
Well, we'll find out. In this era, it was often like 3 uncommons and then the rare and then all the commons.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is what this is.
Nemesis was the second set from Masks.
So move all the uncommons and the rare to the
Done.
back for appropriate reveals of excitement.
Done and done. All right, first up, Moss Dog.
Moss Dog.
Hey,
Not Greater Moss
I
Dog.
was not to be confused with Greater Moss
lesser
Dog.
Moss Dog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lesser
Medium
Moss.
Moss Dog.
It is a 1/1.
Vanilla Moss Dog.
1/1 hound for 1 green. Whenever Moss Dog becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, put a +1/+1 counter on Moss Dog. That's not great.
No.
That's awful.
What
Yeah.
spell or ability is your opponent going to target with that doesn't just kill it?
Now, this is back in the day when creatures weren't
Wait.
as good as they are now.
Hornet Sting. Wait,
Ooh,
does that only hit flyers?
No, yeah.
I can't remember.
No, Horn Stings.
But when they giant growth it,
Oh, great. Fading is in this set. Parallax Dementia.
What a great name for a card.
Is-
Or a prog band.
Or a prog band. 1 and a black enchantment creature aura with fading 1. This enchantment comes into play with 1 fade counter on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, remove a fade counter if you can't sacrifice it. The enchanted creature gets +3/+2, and when Parallax Dementia leaves play, destroy enchanted creature. That creature can't be regenerated.
That's bad.
yeah, that's
So-
so awful.
On your creature, you put it on your creature, you get 2 hits, because you get to hit with the turn you cast the
And then you
Parallax
2 for
Dementia.
1 yourself.
And then you take the fade counter off of it, and it doesn't go away, and you hit again, and then you take the fade counter off it and destroy it.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah.
Or you put it on your opponent's creature, they get to ram you with this +3/+2 creature for 2 attack steps,
Yeah, no
Yeah.
kidding.
and then their creature dies. That's also bad.
No, this is terrible.
This card's bad.
No, but you put it on a wall.
All right. Actually, if you need to kill a wall, I guess it would kill a creature with Defender. That's true.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's not even sacrifice the creature. It's destroy the creature
Destroy
so
it.
you can't even use it to kill, like, Thassa.
Yep.
No, that is the most
Yeah.
corner case of upsides, Cameron.
Seal of Cleansing is
Hey.
next. The cycle of seals was sort of cards that already existed
They're now
as
enchantments.
they were instants or sorceries, but now they're enchantments for the same converted mana cost as the instants or sorcery version, but it means they're sitting there the whole time.
Right, were
So the-
enchantments a thing in this block?
Yeah.
So maybe you want to run the Parallax Dementia, even though it's
Probably
bad,
not.
just because you want the enchantment?
Probably not. So yeah, Seal of Cleansing is disenchant. It's one and a white for an enchantment, and you sacrifice Seal of Cleansing to destroy target artifact or enchantment. So it's disenchant. There was a naturalize. There was a lightning bolt.
unsummon?
Was it an unsummon or a counterspell?
I think it was an unsummon.
Yeah, but yeah, there was a cycle. They're not great.
I was about to say, most of these are like good because they are
Or wait,
instants.
was it even a lightning bolt or was it shock? Seal of Fire. I think it's
Yeah.
just a shock.
I mean, 2 damage is a lot less good when you can't surprise somebody with
And
it.
I think the black one was a terror.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like the idea is, just
Yeah.
shock. Like the idea is that it means you don't have to use it on that turn, right? Like you can use your mana on turn 1 to play Seal of Fire, even when they have no targets, and then later you just get to kill something, or you sort of force them to play around it.
Yeah.
So like it's interesting, but I don't like it.
Yeah.
Next
Man, I
up
was-
is our foil.
Oh, it's a Doomblade, actually. It's destroyed target non-black creature.
So it was Terror, wasn't it?
Terror was
Non-black,
non-black,
non-artifact.
Oh right, but that was also that still had the can't be regenerated clause, which Doomblade doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's...
Anyway, Fog Patch is next. Broadly, there it is.
Ooh.
1 and a green, instant, play Fog Patch only during the declare blockers step. Attacking creatures become blocked. This spell works on unblockable creatures.
Huh.
What? So it's like fog.
But you don't even have to put your creatures out there. They just are blocked by the
This
fog
is
patch?
really weird.
You can only do it during declare blockers, and you just go, no, those are all blocked. Mm-hmm. So that doesn't prevent damage from happening, which
Yeah.
because fog prevents all combat damage.
So do you still get, like, trampled for max damage with this? Because they have to assign trample damage?
They would still have to, right? Because there's no blocker. If you just say your creature with trample is blocked, then all the trample damage would come right through.
Yeah.
If there's no actual blocker there.
How many creatures had trample in this set, though?
Well, I don't know, but I'm just trying to think about how this card actually friggin' works.
It does have sweet Rebecca Gayard.
It does, and this one's foil, which is
Can I see?
which is keen. The actual art is from the era where the art isn't foil, just the border.
Oh.
Yeah, it does. It does not do anything against trample creatures.
Right. And so what this would let you do is you could still set up some good blocks to like eat some of their creatures
Yeah.
and let the big stuff through and be like, combat damage still happens, I eat this creature, but that big one just is blocked and nothing happens.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's still probably bad. This block was notoriously bad,
Yeah.
by the way.
It had Brainstorm,
It did, but
and it had Wasteland.
yes.
Although this was considered to be the best set in
the block.
in the masks block.
yeah. Historically, what happened was they printed the Urza's block, Urza's Saga, Urza's Legacy,
Destiny.
Urza's Destiny.
Yeah.
I got that in the wrong order, I think. And that was very, very too powerful. And they got very gun shy, and they printed the Masks block, which is generally considered pretty weak. Mm-hmm. But here we are. Next up, what is this? Laccolith Rig. Single red mana enchant creature. Whenever enchanted creature becomes blocked, you may have
By
it deal
fog patch.
you may have it deal damage equal to its power to target creature. If you do, enchanted creature deals no combat damage this turn. So you attack with a creature, they're like, I block with this one, and you're like, well, instead of doing damage to that creature, I do it to that creature, but I don't do anything to that creature. That's weird. It's
Yeah.
interesting, but I don't think it's worth a
interesting, but
card.
yeah, no.
Hey, this is all right. Remember when black 2/2s had to have a downside.
Right.
Spineless Thug. It's a 2/2 mercenary for 1 and a black, and it can't block. It wasn't actually until Walking Corpse in the original Innistrad
Yeah.
block that black just got a bear.
Well, I really liked when Relentless Dead was spoiled, and it was a really big thing in the Can Highlander forum.
Yeah.
And one comment was like, "Ew, it can block."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next, Rootwater Commando. 2 and a blue. Oh, trying to get it up on the overlay there. I don't know why that one's not reading. That's curious. Anyway, 2 and a blue for a 2/2 Merfolk with Island Walk. That
Okay, that seems totally fine.
Fine.
This is definitely the best card we've seen in this set so far, right?
I think so.
It's a 2/2 with some sort of random upside, as opposed to a downside or a really bad enchantment,
Yeah.
or a very, very average creature and a fog
Yeah.
patch.
It's a morph creature with an upside. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, I got a good one for you here. See if it reads. Hey, Blastoderm. 2 green for a 5/5 with Fading 3 and Shroud.
That seems quite good.
Or as printed on the card, can't be targeted spells or abilities. Now, you might be more familiar with the plane-shifted version, Calciderm,
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
which is exactly the same but in white.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Fading 3 comes into play with 3 fade counters. At the beginning of your upkeep, you remove a fade counter, and if you can't remove a counter, you sacrifice it. So you get 3 attacks with it.
Yeah.
But
right.
that's very well costed, though.
Right. Calciderm actually, sorry, it's not straight plane shifted. Calciderm actually has Vanishing 4, which is the same.
Yeah.
Vanishing 4 is the same as Fading 3.
I don't know
But
why
it's
they did
basically
that.
the
Yeah.
same.
Like I guess vanishing is a little more intuitive.
Yeah, well,
because you take the last counter off and you're like,
Now it's
okay,
dead.
now it's dead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like Vanishing is they fixed Fading.
I mean, they're both still weird. But anyway, yeah, Blastoderm is...
Don't see those mechanics making a comeback.
You certainly get to slam with a 5/5, which it seems to me is bigger than anything else in this set. So, well, most things. Next up is Defiant Falcon. 1 and a white for a 1/1 flying rebel bird. 4 and tap. Search your library for a rebel card with converted mana cost 3 or less, and put that card into play. Then
Oh.
shuffle your library.
That seems
That's
great.
kind of interesting.
All
Like,
the rebel deck was interesting, and it did that.
yeah, well, like, wasn't this the set where they were like, we have to reevaluate the legendary rule because the only playable creature that exists in Standard right now is Linsivy, and whoever gets their because at this point the legendary rule I think was if a copy of a legendary creature is in play, then you can't play another one at all.
Oh, right.
So
and then
whoever
they
resolved their Linsivy first just won.
and then they changed it for Kamigawa block, where it
I
was
think
if
so.
you play the legendary, then yours. If you play yours second, yours wins.
Yeah,
And then they've changed it now that it's just you can both have one.
yeah.
Is that correct?
The Kamigawa change was they both die.
Oh, they both die.
Yeah.
Like that's what it was
Right,
for.
that's what it was. Right,
that's
right,
what.
right.
That's why like you would use Jace to kill Jace and that kind of
Right,
stuff.
right.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, a bunch of the rebels had rebel searching abilities.
Right.
If you recall from the first Modern Masters,
yeah.
there was
a rebel. That
Blight
was,
Speaker and I want to say Amaru Scout.
Goat? Yes, yeah.
Was the other one.
Yeah.
And they could go looking for other rebels, including
tribal enchantments.
the pacifism.
the 3-mana pacifism that
Yeah.
was a rebel, so you could at instant speed pacify something.
There was also mercenaries was the other thing in this set,
Rebels and
Right.
mercenaries.
which basically did the same thing as rebels but for mercenaries.
Huh, interesting. Whelp. Sorry, Lacolith Whelp.
Oh,
It's a 1/1 for a single red mana. Whenever Lacolith Whelp becomes blocked, you may have it deal damage equal to its power to target creature. If you do, Lacolith Whelp deals no combat damage this turn. So Lacolith Whelp does the same thing that the Lacolith Rig does.
Oh.
So the Rig gives you the power of the Lacoliths, and this seems like a weak one, so I assume there's a larger Lacolith. I still don't like this ability.
Yeah. Lacolith ability lacks.
I mean, the thing is, it's basically discourages them from blocking it, which is great, except it's a 1/1. But I guess, hey, then you put, some sort of enchantment on it.
This one's weird. Stronghold Discipline.
Oh, I've seen this card before.
2 black for a sorcery. Each player loses 1 life for each creature he or she controls.
This card is often sort of like commander sideboard attack against tokens.
Really?
If you're playing like a
There's
control-y
no
kind of
sideboard
deck,
in Commander.
Right, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like people will put this into their commander deck in case somebody is playing like a big token deck.
Right.
Like, for example, you are playing against my Una deck. This would probably kill me if the board state was advanced enough and I didn't counter it.
What an interesting card.
Anyhow.
Here's the there's the Titan.
Lycolith Titan. So it's a
Yeah.
6/6 for 7 that does the same thing.
Yeah,
It's
there's
a Blastoise.
common, uncommon, and a rare. There's also the Lakerlith Warrior, who's the exact same thing but a 3/3.
So there's a 1/1, a 3/3, and a 6/6, and the rig. Weird. All right. This is a very weird sort of quasi-hate card. Refreshing Rain is 3 and a green, target player gains 6 life at instant speed.
Huh.
But if an opponent controls a swamp and you control a forest, you can play it without paying its mana cost. This might actually be all right in Commander.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chances are, chances are your opponent's going to have a swamp.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's not great.
No.
Phyrexian.
That was a cycle, by the way.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of these.
I mean, but
If opponent controls a something and you control a something,
Then you get a something.
then you do it for free.
Weird.
yeah, the only problem here is that after jumping through all of those hoops, you gain 6 life.
Yeah. Submerge actually seems better.
Oh, yeah.
5 mana instant Griptide.
They have to be playing green, but
Yeah, or it's just a 5 mana instant like plow under their creature. That seems fine actually. Like that one I would play normally. This one I would not play unless I knew I could cast it for free. Oh, Massacre is the black one. All creatures get -2/-2, and you cast it for free if they control planes and you control a
I
swamp.
would just run that.
Yeah, I would run Massacre. I'd probably run Civi's Rage too. Mog Salvage is not exciting. Destroy target artifact.
I can't read the.
It's 2 and a red. Destroy target artifact.
If
an
they control an island.
I only like that ability when it comes attached to a Manic Vandal.
Yeah. All right, next up, back in our pack of Nemesis here, Phyrexian Prowler is a 3/3 for 3 and a black with fading 3. Remove a fade counter from Phyrexian Prowler, and it gets +1/+1 until end of turn.
Interesting.
But then it goes away more quickly.
Yeah.
This seems awful.
It's got cool art.
What's happening in
How
that
many
art?
fading counters does it have on it?
3.
Okay, sorry. The reason I keep asking and like shifting around is because how our camera
Yeah.
is set up,
Yeah.
I literally cannot read the cards.
Yeah, I know.
So that's bad.
That's not a good card.
That's real bad.
so the first time that it can attack, it has 2 fade counters left on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can make it a 5/5 and then it dies next turn,
Yeah.
or you can make it a 4/4 and then it'll be a 3/3 and then die,
Yeah.
or it'll be a 3/3, a 3/3, and a 3/3.
And die.
Yeah. So you get one shot with a 5/5.
Because Proliferate wasn't around at this point. I don't think there was ways to add fade counters. Maybe there was? I don't know. That doesn't seem
Doesn't
great.
seem very flavorful to the block.
What? Coiling Woodworm. First of all, gross. Secondly, 2 and a green for a star 1, and its power is equal to the number of forests in play.
No, that could be really good or really bad.
Only the elves know where the woods end and the woodworm begins. Gross. What? Wait, what? That's weird. Also,
It
it's
doesn't have trample, does it?
no, it's an X1. That's terrible.
Yeah.
All right, here's our rare. Are you ready?
Hot diggity.
Oh, it's got a lot of text. Oh, this is going to be terrible. Stronghold Gambit. 1 and a red for a sorcery. Each player chooses a card in his or her hand. Then each player reveals his or her chosen card. The owner of the creature card revealed this way with the lowest converted mana cost puts that card into play. If
there's a tie?
if 2 or more creature cards are tied for lowest cost, those cards are put into play.
So everybody gets a weenie.
Or you shred their hand and you get to show and tell your Emrakul.
Yeah, because if they can't reveal a creature card,
Yeah.
then you win.
Yeah.
Each player chooses a card. Then each player reveals his or her chosen card. the owner of the creature card with the lowest converted mana cost. So if you're the only one with a creature, then you win by default and you put your creature into play for free.
Interesting.
Yeah, but you don't know that you're the only one with a creature.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like that's what Cam's saying. You need to like hand attack and then cast this.
Yeah.
There's a way to
And then
abuse
you can
this, I'm
put
sure.
your,
I'm sure.
your Lacolith Titan into play for 2 mana.
Okay.
I do not.
Yeah. Huh. All right.
What a weird block.
Very, very strange.
Ooh.
All right, on to the mailbag. Let's talk. Thank you, by the way, for that pack. That was really interesting.
Yeah.
So we asked on Twitter, on the @LRRMTG account, for some questions, and James pulled some questions out for us. And
Thank you, James.
let's go to it. First up, favorite Conspiracy 2 cards, #WotC staff, from Robert. Robert, that is not a question. You fail. That said, I haven't actually had a chance to like really get deep into the set yet, but I love the ones that let you exile cards before the game.
Oh, yeah.
Where you're like, here's my 40 card deck. Here's also 3 cards from my sideboard, and these are now exiled in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you draw the card that lets you do that, it lets you do a thing.
Yeah.
From that, I can't think of a good example. I believe
like
I believe
Garbage
it's
Fire,
a cycle,
right?
Oh, Garbage Fire is great. No,
Yeah.
that's different. Garbage Fire is
right,
terrific.
because it's where you draft it.
Yeah,
yeah.
let's talk about Garbage Fire
Yeah,
real quick.
Can you pull up
Yeah.
Garbage Fire?
Oh my god!
So-
they
Sometimes-
gave Magic Twitch Chat its own card.
Yeah,
Womp
how
womp.
you know that WotC loves you.
Yeah.
They make this card for
So
you.
if you're not familiar with Garbage Fire, here's what it says. Reveal Garbage Fire as you draft it, and note how many cards you've drafted this draft round, including Garbage Fire. So if you pick it up third, you'd say, all right,
3.
this is 3. Garbage Fire deals damage to target creature equal to the highest number you noted for cards named Garbage Fire.
So all your Garbage Fires are the same.
Yeah, I saw.
And they're all like the best Garbage Fire you could have.
I saw Lee tweeting about the employee pre-release, and he picked one 5th.
Oh,
So he got 2 in a red instant deal 5 to a creature.
yeah. And you can also do things like maybe you first pick a Garbage Fire from a weak pack and hope to pick up
'Cause
a
it's a
Garbage
common.
Fire later.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So you're going to see at least a couple Garbage Fires going around.
And
This
What a
pack is a
fantastic
Garbage
name.
Fire. Yeah.
you'll note in this for Conspiracy 2, if you're watching the video of the podcast, you can see that the Draft Matters cards have a different border. Mm-hmm. They have a special border to remind you, like, oh, I have to do something.
Yeah.
That's good design.
Is it Marchesa's Rosette?
Yeah, the wax seal, I think.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Paul, do you have any of that cycle that I was talking about handy? I'm afraid I don't remember the names of them. I think they're all rare. And I know there's a green one and a red one, which tells me there's a cycle of 5.
Yeah. My personal favorite is, I think it's called Arcane Savant. I talked about this last week, but it's like a 3/3 for 4 that when you draft it, or before the game, you can exile an instant or sorcery with it. And when you play it, you get
That
to
instant.
cast, when it enters the battlefield, excuse me, not on cast, but when, it's a 3/3 for 5 human wizard.
Yes.
Yeah,
This is
reveal
the
the card.
cycle, yes.
Yeah, so we're on the same
Yeah.
wavelength here. But I just want to do this with the one Council's Dilemma Mythic, where you get to either take an extra turn or draw a bunch of cards, I think, depending on how the Council votes.
So what's great about these cards, and heads up for Conspiracy, is that it does not matter what color it is. It's like, Kathleen, you remember the Aether Searcher?
Yeah.
Right? You just take a bomb. You had like a white-blue deck with a Palaka Worm.
Yeah, I did a conspiracy draft at Lady Planeswalkers. I was playing a blue-black deck, and I drafted an Aether Searcher, and I was like, well, let's take this Palaka Worm in the next pack. And then, a lot
Aether
of...
Searcher is a 6/4 for 7, colorless. It's an artifact. And you reveal it as you draft it. And then you reveal the next card you draft. And then the way it works is when Aether Searcher enters the battlefield, you get to cast that. You get to go looking for that card, and
and play it without paying its mana cost. So
Yeah.
the nice thing about Aether Searcher is that you can you can play something that's completely outside of your color identity or something that you would never hope to be able to cast or anything like that.
And thank God you search your hand or library,
Yeah.
so you don't get it stranded in your hand. But yeah, could you show me the red one of that cycle that Cam was talking about, if that's possible?
I blew some minds with that because one of the person in my pod because I didn't pick up the Aether Searcher first, was just like, well, I mean, I don't really know what I'd do with this.
Like the downside of Aether Searcher is it has to be the next card that you pick.
Yeah.
But the upside is it can be any color you want because it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So you pick it first, and then you take whatever the best card is left in the pack.
Yeah,
Correct.
and these ones aren't even dead cards.
Yeah.
Because you exile them from your sideboard before the game.
Yeah.
So they're not, it's not even...
You don't have with the situation I have, which you don't have, you're not playing a 39 card deck because you have an uncastable Palaka Worm sitting and there's a plank that you can't do anything with until you get your Aether Searcher.
Yeah.
But I tell you what though, playing an Aether Searcher and then getting a Palaka Worm at the same time, you get that game quickly.
Yeah. Have you seen anything
It
that
was
you're...
one of my proudest moments.
Hell yeah. Have you seen anything you're keen on?
I haven't had a chance to look at the spoilers a lot because I'm very busy. But I will weigh in on your guys' picks.
Sounds reasonable.
I'm sorry. I'm not prepared.
Like, Kaya, I think, again, is a really cool card.
I really like that she doesn't have a plus ability, but you can blink her.
I think it's a fascinating, good
Mechanical
on
space.
R&D.
So here we go. Volatile Chimera is the one I'm thinking of. So it's a 3/2 for 2 and a red. Before you shuffle your deck, you may reveal 3 or more creature cards you drafted that aren't in your deck.
Right.
Has to be 3, interestingly. 3 or more. So when it's in play, 1 in a red, and choose a card at random that you exiled with Volatile Chimera. Volatile Chimera becomes a copy of that card and gains this ability.
Yeah. Yeah, this is sweet.
I'd like that these cards, unlike the one that you're talking about that Kathleen had played, basically makes it so you're running with a 39 card deck. This basically makes it so you're running with like a 41 card deck.
Yeah.
Or a 43 card deck in this case.
But it like doesn't, but not in a way that affects your draw.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, like a 39 card deck would be more efficient if you didn't have a plank in there.
Correct.
Right, and a 41 card deck would be worse, but you don't actually have to draw it.
Yeah.
And it looks like there's only just a green one as well. I actually can't find a black or a white one. But the green one is Caller of the Untamed.
Is that a kitty on that one?
Yeah, big old tiger. She's got 3 tigers actually. It's a
Trip Tigers.
3 and a green for a 2/4 elf shaman. Before you shuffle your deck to start the game, reveal this card from your deck and exile a creature you drafted that isn't in your deck. And for X and tap, put a token onto the battlefield.
That's so good.
Yeah, put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of the card you exiled, and X is the converted mana cost of that card. So you just get to cast a card.
Can you stack these? Like somehow you managed to get a Caller of the Untamed and the blue one that Cam wanted? So basically they become like recursive?
Yeah, well, if you have multiple Arcane Savants, you can name. You have to exile 2 instants or sorceries, and then you cast one. You can copy either. When they need to be.
That makes sense, because
So,
otherwise you have to keep track of which savant it was.
There's actually like an infinite loop, or an infinite turns loop in the game, where you get the Arcane Savant, you get the 9 mana blue Council's Dilemma card, and there is
you're thinking of Expropriate?
Yeah, Expropriate, where you can either... No, sorry, yes, it's... you either vote for time or money, and I think money is you get to mind control something, or control magic something, and time is you get an extra turn for each vote.
Wow.
So even if it's just you voting for another turn, you get another turn. And then there is an aura, I think, that flickers a creature. So you can just like flicker it, get
But
another
you have
turn,
to exile
flicker.
Expropriate after you cast it.
Do you?
Yeah.
But this is a copy. This is copied from...
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Put Arcane Savant back up on the overlay.
Yeah,
again.
no, I have it here. When Arcane Savant enters the battlefield, copy a card you exiled with a card named Arcane Savant. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost.
This card is really good.
Oh my god.
This card is really good.
Cam, you figured it out.
Yeah.
You cracked the format.
And you just need to open a rare and a mythic.
Yeah, and
Get
I
there.
think like an uncommon...
Well, on the upside, no one else is going to take Expropriate because it's a 9 mana blue mythic.
Yeah, that's Trips Blue.
Yeah.
The,
it's only double blue.
Oh, is it?
It's 7 blue.
Oh, well,
My bad.
So easy to cast then. Anyone's
Well, I
going to
mean,
be
like,
running
you
that.
actually are going to be able to cast it, because if Conspiracy 2 is anything like Conspiracy,
They're not fast games.
yeah, no, like, I think decking killed more people in Conspiracy than...
Well, it's because a lot of people ran that stupid conspiracy that turned out to be awful, where you could go down to 35 cards, and you're like, heh, and then people were like,
yeah.
oh, no. I was actually listening to the latest Limited Resources. If you haven't listened to that Limited Resources, the second most recent one now. Half the episode is about conspiracy and their thoughts there, and half of it is a really good primer on removal and how to use it and when to use it and stuff, which is good if you're just sort of learning to draft. But the conspiracy primer is that they were when they were talking about conspiracy, they were noticing that, like, because the big multiplayer games, you know, you don't want to just come out strong because it sort of paints a target on you. So the games promote sitting back and playing a more, like, thoughtful...
Yeah, conservative strategy.
Yeah, until you can kind of shake things out. And so it's not unheard of, I think, to get to 9 mana.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
If I saw an expropriate, I'd absolutely take it.
Yeah.
I was like, if I don't even... I'm either going to play this or I'm going to find a way to play it.
Yeah.
It's very powerful.
Like,
So-
you're getting at least, like, an extra turn out of it.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean,
You're getting extra turn and stealing some creatures, probably.
Yeah.
yeah,
Or, yeah.
you're probably stealing a bunch of creatures and taking 1 extra turn.
Yeah, like, it's a super bad card in any other format, but in this format, it seems quite good.
Yeah.
And this in Commander, I guess.
Yeah.
Sadly, you can't. These 3 cards don't work. Those 3 cards don't work together.
No.
Yeah.
It does say a card that was exiled
With
by
that
this-
card, yeah.
And once you've exiled a card with one of them, you can't exile that same card.
No, but
No.
I'm thinking...
Even
what
though
if-
they're still not in
Okay,
the
what
game.
if you
which is weird.
what if you take an Arcane Savant
Okay.
and you exile Expropriate, and then how can you somehow take the green one? Was it like
Oh, Color of the Untamed.
Color of the Tamed?
Oh, and then you can,
exile your
put
Arcane
a
Savant.
token
That's a
of
copy.
Arcane Savant onto
Yeah.
the battlefield at instant speed that then copies.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
And
That should work.
Yeah.
Chain it.
Chain it.
There is, what is it? There's a clone in the set, the stunt double.
Yep.
Perfect.
Also, there's just one other card that I'm really happy to see in the set, which is Charmbreaker Devils.
Oh, yeah.
I love those guys.
That's a good card.
Yeah.
Yeah, stunt double is 3 and a blue with flash, and you can enter the battlefield as a copy
There's
of any
some
creature on the
really
battlefield.
interesting reprints in this set.
Flavor problem I have with stunt double. It should be enters the card as a copy of any creature on the battlefield and return that creature to its owner's hand.
Yeah.
It should be just like, ha!
Ha-ha,
That's
it's
really
me now.
good.
Yeah.
All right. This is supposed to be a mailbag. Oh, sorry. You were still talking about...
Oh, yeah, it's not just
Oh,
conspiracy.
no, I just like Charmbreaker Devils because I think they're a sweet card.
Yeah.
They do kind of a lot of things that I enjoy doing in the game, and when they were in Innistrad, I really wanted to build a Charmbreaker Devils deck, which was always awful.
Nice.
It was just always awful. But
fun,
in
though.
Limited, I think they're amazing.
Charmbreaker, just as a reminder, it's a 4/4 devil for 5 and a red, so 4/4 for 6. But at the beginning of your upkeep, you get to return an instant or sorcery at random from your graveyard to your hand, which is already sweet. And whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, Charmbreaker Devils gets +4/+0 until end of turn.
Yeah, so you could like dissipate lock somebody with these guys.
Yeah, and then hit them with a 12/4.
Yep.
All right, next question. Which Planeswalker is the cutest? Which one would you want to hug the most?
Tybalt.
Question from Matt. Really?
Yeah, he's just so silly and bad. I think he needs a hug because everybody hates him.
What about Johnny? He's a giant kitty man.
I mean, he's an angry kitty.
Not always.
He has a card literally called a Johnny Vengeance, where he's like,
Well, he's having a very bad day in that card.
look at Tybalt. He is awful. He is not a good card.
I think he needs a hug.
I think he needs a hug. Because everybody's like, Tybalt is trashed here. Like, that probably hurts his feelings.
Yeah, no wonder nobody's seen him recently. Like he's just off in a corner crying somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
As everyone like talks shit about him.
Tybalt needs a hug.
Listening to The Cure.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks like he listens to The Cure.
Yeah, I get more kind of like a Smiths vibe.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like he might. I feel like he might take a hug sort of the wrong way and become like really attached.
Oh, that would be awful.
Just
And then
because
he's like,
it'd be like,
he's
oh,
like, we're finally best friends now.
yeah, we're
It's like,
soulmates.
whoa.
And be
You're
like,
like, oh.
Yeah, no, it was a pity hug, dude.
Whoa, I don't. I don't want to hear about your feelings.
Yeah.
But the point being, I think he needs a hug because he's not great.
Yeah, next thing you know, he sends you 600 emails in one day. I don't know. Who needs a hug? Who is super cute and would be huggable?
I mean, Tamio needs a hug after the...
Tamio
events
doesn't
of these
seem like
walks.
she wants to be touched at all.
She doesn't seem like a hugger, no.
No.
Few of them do.
Yeah, they're all very Cirrus. Except for Merfolk, Planeswalker, Kiora. Kiora seems less Cirrus.
Kiora and
she's
Chandra
definitely-
aren't too Saurus.
She's definitely less serious. Yeah.
Gideon probably gives great hugs.
They're probably very firm.
Yeah. Gideon's probably a hugger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Oh
I
yeah,
see
he's
that.
like inspiring loyalty in his troops. He's like, "Come on in here for a hug," and you're like, "Oh, thank you."
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
and
like-
he's like giving the vigorous
Hug it
back.
out.
Yeah.
Hug it.
That doesn't inspire loyalty in me.
Koth, not a
personally.
good guy to give a hug
Yeah,
No,
to.
no.
do
Very
not hug
spiky.
Koth.
Yeah,
Very
Koth has
spiky.
like the hedgehog's dilemma
Do
thing
not-
going on, where
do-
Koth probably needs a hug now in the Phyrexian arena.
Yeah.
Also,
do
he
not-
has like magma coming out of him.
Yeah,
Don't hug Sarkhan because he smells like dragon butt.
yeah.
Just not someplace you want to be. Let's see, who else
I-
should you not hug?
I feel
Narset
like
probably doesn't like being touched.
yeah, I feel
no.
like Karn would be fun to hug, but I wouldn't want it reciprocated because he'd probably squish me.
Yeah.
But I feel like you could kind of get in there
Yeah.
on Karn.
Well, he'd be very cold though. Like Silver has like a high.
yeah, but just I don't know. It would be like hugging a big
Conversely,
statue.
Arlen turns into a giant pupper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd give Pupper Arlen a hug.
Yeah.
I would. Who else was a bad idea to hug? I was just thinking about this. Oh, do not hug Liliana.
Liliana does not want to be touched.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of planeswalkers that you should not touch for various interpretations of why.
Yeah. Like Chandra would just set you on fire, kind of like accidentally. She's probably like quite casually affectionate.
I feel
Yeah.
like she's
And
more
then-
of a high five girl.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Would high five.
Yeah,
Would high five.
All right.
with my left hand, just in case.
Question from Keith. What's your favorite token?
The Arlen when she's in when she is in
When she's in pupper form.
when she's in wolf form is actually a. I'm just noticing the picture. It's quite a fluffy puppy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's not like one of those like kind of wiry.
Slick back.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
she looks like look at that
that-
little look at that tail there.
at the
That's-
tail.
Yeah, that's very fluffy.
Big,
So I think
fluffy
what
tail.
we've decided on is that the planeswalker that needs the hug most is Tybalt, and
Yeah.
then probably the best one for like your experience of like getting in and giving him a real cuddle is Arlen. All right,
Assuming it is
assuming she's okay with
she's
these.
Yeah.
she's down
Yeah.
with it.
Exactly.
Don't
like.
pet random dogs.
Yeah. No. Just like
Certainly not
be
random
like,
werewolves.
hey, can we go in for a hug? And if they're like, I'd rather not, respect that,
Yep.
because otherwise they'll edict you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
All right.
Favorite token.
Token.
The one that I loved the most, that frustrated me the most, was the zombie token from Theros' third set.
Oh.
Or no, it was the second set, the middle set, the one that was an enchantment zombie.
Oh. Because you needed a zombie.
Yeah,
But you love the
but
art.
yeah, I love the art because it was two
With the returned?
children. Yeah, with the returned mask.
Yeah.
But it was not correct. Not that one.
No,
not that one.
That guy's just an actual zombie. Mm-hmm. It's the one that's an enchantment creature zombie.
I mean, the Theros zombies looked amazing.
Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
actually really frustrated with this. Yeah, there we go.
Wow.
That's the one.
Ugh. That's weird.
I would have really liked this.
That's
just
a nightmare.
Yeah, like that's a sweet token.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can probably just use it as a
Probably,
zombie
but like somebody's gonna get confused and be like judge, and then you'll be like, come on, let me just use it. And they're like, sorry, we have to give you a game loss because this is like casual REL, and we don't like you
And now
very
you
much,
can't
and
come to the
nobody's
store
Now you're
anymore.
banned.
nobody's
from the
wanted to
store.
tell you, but we've really been looking for an excuse. So,
This is a rich narrative you've crafted here.
yeah. No, this always plays out in my head.
Graham, do you have a favorite?
Yeah,
token?
I'm a big fan of the spirit token from Kamigawa.
Oh, the colorless one.
Yeah, it's a colorless, non-flying spirit. It's like a wood kami.
Right.
And it's just, there's certain cards in Kamigawa that's like you get a 1/1 spirit. And you assume, oh, okay, it's a white 1/1 flying spirit, because that's always what 1/1 spirits are now. But no, this is, it's a 1/1 colorless, does not fly, and it's just this really cool looking, like just it's got like an old weird border on it, and I just think it looks really neat.
Yeah.
Paul's seeing if he can find that one. It's tricky. It's like gray, and it's got this like brown wood, jagged, pointy spirit thing on it. It's real weird looking.
Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, that looks like it's something out of like the Dark Crystal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
the-
no, this
that's
is
the-
totally
Or just
like
the tree elemental or something.
yeah.
Yeah. I think that's new. That's the new border, I think. Yeah, I think it doesn't matter, but I feel like originally it had a different card frame. I could be wrong, but anyway, I just think it looks really cool.
I really like the Lorwyn spirit token for procession,
Oh yeah.
where it was just like this wisp
yeah,
of like
it's barely
ectoplasm, but it was barely
it's
discernible.
barely a creature. Yeah.
Yeah, but that I really like. Yeah, Kathleen's totally right. It totally looks like a Jim Henson creature.
What about you? Do you have one?
I like the more esoteric tokens such as squirrel and goat. I don't really like.
I love the goat token. Doesn't even like it's a 0/1, obviously,
Yeah.
but it also just doesn't look that threatening.
No, and I love that.
It just looks like it's a goat. Yeah, that's the spirit. It's just it's a wisp. It's barely humanoid shaped, kind of.
Shadowmoor is.
Shadowmoor,
yeah,
excuse me.
that's the
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I like the goat token and the squirrel tokens because they're silly.
Yeah, just like that's a goat. That's a squirrel. I like that a goat is a 0/1, but the squirrel is a 1/1.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I've met goats in real life, and
It's a majestic looking goat, but it's just a goat.
I mean, I think that if there's a sillier goat token, if you go back into the archives, that's a nice one that's been reprinted for Commander or redrawn for Commander. But yeah,
wow,
like,
they got Adam Paquette to do that one.
That's from.
Yeah. It was also in a core set for Trading Post.
yeah, but I don't know. I just think those are kind of funny.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, question from Elliot. What mechanic do you think is the most interesting out of all the sets from the past year?
That's the goat token I'm thinking of.
Oh, wow,
it's so
Therese
fuzzy
Nielsen.
and cute.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That goat looks buff.
It's also like a weird like eventide.
Yeah.
Like it's a Lorwyn goat person thing.
Well, I
Yeah.
think it's cute.
Yeah, no,
I agree. I just think
agree.
it looks
it's
it
rad.
looks jacked.
Yeah. Favorite mechanic in the last year, so that's like
Most interesting, yeah.
Well,
so
okay,
that's
let's just run through the mechanics that have been in the last few sets.
Well, there's that. I mean,
well, the sets have been Dragons of Tarkir,
yeah.
Yeah.
Origins, Battle for Zendikar, Oath of the Gatewatch, Shadows over Innistrad, Eldritch Moon.
yeah.
It's a bit right. Let's see.
So the two ones that I enjoyed playing with the most were Exploit from
Yep.
Dragons of Tarkir and Emerge from Eldritch Moon. And so like recurring themes here, they're creatures that allow you,
You like to sack your stuff.
yeah, sacrifice another creature and get like a bonus, right? Either a reduced mana cost or some kind of like spell effect. And I thought those were just, you could, like with Exploit, you could sacrifice the creature itself. And I thought it added a really interesting dynamic, and they were May abilities, so you didn't have to use them.
Yeah.
Oh, Exploit was definitely the best mechanic in Dragons of Tarkir, I think.
Yeah, like Rebound didn't do much.
Rebound was so boring.
The red-green one was just like whatever high power toughness creature wasn't
Things are
that
big.
interesting.
I
The
don't.
Dramoka,
The Dramoka one was like bolster,
yeah, which was
fine. But like Exploit was exciting and fun to play with.
Yeah, like it had a bunch of different like ways to
Like,
do things.
Yeah, I really, yeah, I agree with you on Exploit there. Because that's the thing of it. Think of how much trouble we're having naming the other mechanics.
Yeah.
From Dragons of Tarkir, but we're like, yeah, Exploit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just into the sacrifice.
Yeah, and the Aristocrats deck really opened my eyes to how much interesting, or the depth of plays you could do while sacrificing your own board.
I think Madness was cool and it was neat to see come back, but I actually think Delirium was super interesting.
Yeah, Delirium really got there.
Yeah.
I remember in Shadows over Innistrad being kind of lukewarm on it,
Yeah.
and then by the time of Eldritch Moon, it was like
Oh, this is sick.
dynamic
Like
and
it's not impossible.
Yeah.
But it's just tough enough that it's not easy. And when you do manage to make it work, the payoffs are very real.
yeah,
and it kind of forces you to, if you want to really like you can have some cards that are fine, but if you have Delirium, then they're better. But you can also have like a deck that is built around Delirium, and you're running
Yes.
like Echoes of the Past, and you're just going all in on self-mill, and then you just dominate with these crazy powerful Delirium cards.
Yes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah,
Echoes
I
of the
think
Past
I
turned
think it's
out-
neat.
Yeah, like I really appreciate what must have been a very difficult job on Wizards' part of making Delirium just hard enough to turn on that you couldn't really do it accidentally
Yeah.
without making it impossible to turn on.
Well, like it's pretty like unless you draft with an eye to Delirium, it's pretty hard to get going.
Yeah.
Because like when the set like when we did the first pre-release, I was just like, you know, you need to do the throwaway drafts at the beginning. And you're like, does this work? And it's like unless you put some thought into it, you can't just randomly luck your way into a Delirium deck because most draft decks are too creature heavy.
Yeah.
But if you build around it, you really got rewarded, which felt good about it. Like, or it made you feel good when you did it because it's like you executed a plan from beginning to end. You know, it's not just like, oh, this is kind of a randomly fun mechanic.
And of course, it meshed well with
The themes
Madness.
Madness and a few other things.
Yeah.
I guess not Madness, but with
No, well, yeah, totally worked well with Madness because Madness
Madness
gave
is-
you a way to get things into your bin.
right, yeah. So yeah, as you sort of it combined with sort of the discard mechanics.
And it also works flavor-wise.
What were the
Yeah.
mechanics
As the madness
from,
increases, so too does the Delirium.
Yeah, what was the mechanics? This is maybe indicative that I didn't like them as much. What were the mechanics from the BFZ block?
So Devoid kinda was a mechanic. I thought that was actually pretty cool.
I
Yeah,
actually really like the Devoid deck. And,
Yeah, I think
Battle
it's
Presenter
fair to call colorless mana a mechanic of Oath.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed how it was used, or at least the cards that used
Yeah.
it. It's like it wasn't really. I don't know. It's tough to call it like a mechanic in the same way as Delirium because it was. I don't know.
I did like how all the Devoid cards played together really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awaken was sweet, turning your lands into creatures.
Rally was
Fine.
present. Yeah.
I feel like
had some-
Spectrum,
I had some-
the color one,
Yeah.
that one was just like a...
I had some good
Yeah.
wins on the back of Rally. Let me
Was
tell
it
you.
called Spectrum? What was it called?
No.
Rainbow? The Lights?
Converge.
Converge. Converge
Delights.
was terrible.
Yeah,
Were
I
the-
really
were-
wanted Converge
Were Rainbow
to
and
get there.
Delights different ones, or is it Rainbow Delights?
Maybe it was Rainbow Delights is what I'm thinking of. But
Like,
yeah.
I really wanted Converge to get there, and there were some good Converge creatures, like the Elemental, the Green Elemental.
Yep.
That was a 2/2 with Converge.
Or the elves, the green-blue elves.
Yeah, those guys were really good
Those
and
were
limited.
really good, but like as a whole, I was not gonna ever go out of my way to build a Converge deck. It was bad. But yeah, I really like Devoid.
All right, question from Kevin. This could be a tricky one. What's your favorite piece of gameplay advice? And when should you actually do the opposite?
Okay, that's an interesting question.
That's
Yeah.
a good question.
Gameplay advice would be don't hesitate to take 10 seconds to think about your plays,
Yeah.
or 30 seconds to think about your plays.
Yeah. Only an asshole will be like, "Hey, could you hurry it up when you're trying to do
Yeah,
math?"
like, and to be fair, there are times where you
clock's
don't need to.
counting down.
Yeah, when the clock's
When,
counting
when
down.
you're on clock at a GP, you
Yeah.
know. But if you're just playing at F&M or whatever,
Yeah,
just
don't be afraid to be like, hold on.
I just need to check something.
Yeah, and like do the
some
math.
Yeah, I'm just trying to
and-
figure some stuff out here.
Yeah.
Yeah. You never like taking the time to think out the math of like, is this a profitable attack or should I, or
There's nothing worse than making a decision and doing it, like tapping the mana and casting a spell, and then immediately going, oh. Wait.
Yeah, I
should have
tapped
done
out wrong,
I should have
or-
done this differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then conversely, always if your opponent like be a nice helpful player, and if your opponent is like, I just need a couple seconds because I'm just trying to figure something out, that's fine. Give that to them. Don't rush them along.
Yeah.
This game is supposed to be fun.
What's the situation where you don't do that? Where you do the
Well,
opposite?
where the time is, where the
Yeah.
clock is ticking.
If you want to be a huge asshole, then do the opposite.
When you think you can put your opponent on tilt by hassling them, then by all means put them off their game.
I mean, it's unlikely to be relevant for most people, but like, if you are sure that you're in a game-winning position and you're at a GP and you're about to run out of time, and your opponent is taking a long time, such that basically they're trying.
They're trying to.
You feel they're playing slowly to try and force a draw.
Yeah.
Then call a judge.
Yeah.
And just be like, hey, could you just... You don't even have to say anything. You just be like, could you watch this game?
Yeah.
Right? If you want, you can talk the judge away from the table and be like, I think my opponent's playing slowly. Could you please keep an eye on them? Right? Or like, you can even just say out loud in front of your opponent, be like, opponent, I think my judge is... judge,
I think my opponent is slow playing.
Yeah. But that's...
That's so rare.
Yeah.
Has that ever happened to you?
No. And I've played more than one hand's worth of GPs. I can't remember exactly how many. And that's never happened. But I did draw once at GP Vegas though, against I can't remember his name. He writes for CFB occasionally, and he's blind.
Oh.
And really good match, nice guy, but we drew. We just couldn't get there. It's like we went to turns. We played through all 5 turns, and then both looked at each other and were like,
we both have these meat shields up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate because I believe that meant the draw meant that he did not make day 2.
Oh.
Oh, that sucks.
But I did make day 2, so I wasn't going to scoop.
Right.
It's the problem.
Yeah. So you couldn't even like scoop to him.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, because
Them's the breaks.
that's how it goes.
Here is my gameplay advice
Oh,
related to draft. Do not get married to your first pick, no matter if it's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, even if you, like, open a crazy planeswalker, right? Like, say you are, drafting, I don't know, Eldritch Moon, and you open a Tameo, and it becomes pretty apparent that you are going to get cut very badly on blue and green, then you maybe you're not going to be able to run this, right? Like, that's a bad example because it's multicolor, but say you open a sick black bomb and there's no black. Don't get married to that first pick. At the same time, if you are in a situation where, like...
If you're just there for fun. If you're just like, you know what? No, I'm playing this card.
I was about to say.
YOLO, whatever.
YOLO
don't care.
swag, don't care.
I am comfortable with just scrubbing out in the first round.
Yeah.
I don't care. I want to run this card.
Yeah, exactly.
Then
I was about to say.
Then you do you.
Yeah, it's okay to build your draft decks.
I can't tell you how to live your life.
You can have fun and play the cards that you want to play.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Tao asks, how many hours per week do you think you devote to playing or thinking about Magic?
Not enough.
Yeah, not as many as I'd like. I mean, I'm lucky that I'm sort of forced to do it, because we stream for like 4 hours every week.
I probably average 1 draft a week, and then probably
Either paper or online?
Yeah, and then probably spend another like 2 hours like either deck building or on the subreddit.
I've had less time recently, but let me tell you, sealed leagues have been...
Yeah, like definitely in the sub 8 hours per week, I think, like, which puts me probably solidly casual.
Yeah, my Magic playing has decreased dramatically in the last 9 months.
But here we are with a podcast.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
right. Also,
Yeah.
we do this podcast, so this is at least an hour every week.
Yeah.
I still think about Magic a lot.
Matthew asks, are you excited for Plane Chase Anthology?
Yes.
Do you think it will be worth it?
Yes.
Any memories of playing Plane Chase games?
All of them. I love Plane Chase.
Yeah, it's so goofy.
My fondest Commander memory is the game where we were playing Plane Chase and we wound up on...
We're playing Commander Plane Chase.
Yeah, Commander Plane Chase, where we were on the plane that does... that sulfuric vortexes you every turn.
Yeah. Progressively more and more damage.
Yeah, it's like Nar Isle.
Yeah, Nar Isle, where it does
like
more and more damage.
2 damage, 3 damage, 4 damage, 5 damage, 6 damage, until you can get off the plane.
Yeah.
We just couldn't leave.
Well, nobody was trying to leave,
Yeah.
because if you leave, you have taken the damage. But if you're just like, no, I think we're going to stay here, then the next person takes more damage than you took.
And then maybe in the next 3 turns, somebody is going to blink and try to get off the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just turned into a big spite fest.
Yeah,
It was terrific.
I think I wound up taking like 12 or 13 damage off of Nar Island.
It was so stupid.
Right? But it kept the game moving at a quick pace. Like, it prevented...
That's
It prevented a board stall, let me tell you what.
yeah.
What I really like about Plane Chase is that Commander's a PvP game, but with Plane Chase, it can become a PvE game.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Plane Chase keeps you on your toes.
Yeah. I think it's really fun.
Sam asks, are we getting another nicknames tap concede? Those were so great. Thank you, Sam. Really appreciate that. So we were actually just talking about this before coming live, and it's been it's been a difficult bunch of months between Shadow's release and currently to actually get the Shadows and Eldritch Moon nicknames sort of out the door in a timely manner and a way that we want to do them and have them be good. And it's not easy, and it's been basically impossible to actually do these. So what we decided is that we are going to, and trust me that I hate to do this, we're gonna call the Shadows block a loss. Maybe we will return to it at some point, but we're gonna basically be like, sorry, no.
We missed those.
We missed it. And we are going to come back strong with Kaladesh. We're going to start working on them as soon as spoilers come out. And we're going to have the Kaladesh one out for the Tap a week after release. So that it's there, so that we've had like a couple weeks after the pre-release to sort of play with it, but also so that it's fresh and at the beginning of the format.
Yeah.
And because we feel that like, in the same way that Limited Resources does their set reviews, we think that the Nickname Podcast is sort of our like marquee thing for each set, and we don't want to stop doing it, and we feel bad that we weren't able to deliver on the Shadows of Innistrad thing. And it's bad feels, but we will return.
Nicknames will return.
Nicknames will return in For Your Eyes Only. Nice, Paul. The Fate of Return.
Good.
All right, and actually, real quick question from Austin: do you think Mill is a cheap way to win?
No, mill is the best way to win. You shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Mill is not easy to.
It's not
You
easy.
can't accidentally mill someone. It's like if mill was like, oh, whoops, I killed you. Yeah, it'd be kind of cheap, but you have to work for a mill victory. It is not something you just fall backwards into.
Yeah, like I think, in Limited, when you mill someone out, it's because you have like held on with your fingernails, usually,
exactly.
to avoid just getting like punched in the mouth repeatedly by 2/2s and 3/3s, and it's hard work to not die when you're trying to mill because you aren't actually doing anything until you kill them.
Yeah.
But I feel that mill might be, in fact, the most noble way to win a game of
I
Magic.
agree, Kathleen.
Yes, I think so. I think
A
Cameron and I
gentleman's
have-
game.
Yeah.
Well,
The King's game.
Yeah.
The
And,
royal
I mean,
The
game.
royal game.
It makes me want to play High Tide, which is possibly the purest mill deck ever,
that's
because
true,
it actually
actually.
plays spells. It doesn't just like, whoops, Painter's Stone,
Yeah.
you're dead. It actually like has to like get there.
Did you
and
see-
then Blue Sun Zenith you out?
There's a video of this. Did you see when Kenji, knew about the Nummy on Twitch, did you see when he sideboarded against Brain Freeze in Legacy Cube?
Do you
Or
just like
Vintage Cube?
slam 15 all his sideboard in?
No, he put in like 800 lands. He spent the entire sideboarding process just adding lands.
How did it work out for him?
He won.
That son of a
It
bitch.
was amazing. It's one of the best highlights of him I've seen. It's so fun.
Right, because at that point, he actually winds up milling the opponent, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
How did he not just never draw anything?
He actually drew enough of his actual spells to not die conventionally, and the opponent's deck was basically like, because
Ripping.
this is
Right.
the powered cube. The opponent's deck was practically creatureless and was just like
I'm all in on the mill
Yeah,
plan.
it was a committed storm deck.
Right.
So it's just like, if Brain Freeze is your only, that's why you need Brain Freeze and Tendrils
Yeah.
as your payloads. If Brain Freeze is your only payload,
As you,
it's
Yeah,
tough.
it's dicey.
It's dicey.
That's beautiful.
Really funny.
Last question from Alex says, I'm rather new to
He's
Magic.
right here.
I've
He
only
can
been
ask us.
playing for a few months. Do you have any advice for getting better, learning, and finding people to play with casually? So I think the best advice, at least what worked for me for getting better and learning, is to consume Magic content.
Yes.
I don't know that our podcast is necessarily the best, but thank you for listening.
No, I mean, we
But-
give some good tips.
Exactly.
But we're not experts.
But listen to us, listen to Magic the Amateuring, listen to Limited Resources. They're
So helpful. at
probably
teaching you how
the
to
best
draft.
Limited Resources. And watch people stream.
Yeah.
I got better at Magic by listening to Limited Resources, by watching Kenji stream Magic, and by watching Marshall's recorded drafts.
Yeah. You want like brilliant Magic plays? Watch LSV's recorded matches.
Yeah.
Watch him play Legacy Cube, and you're like,
How did you even think of that?
how do you ever lose?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I just remember
I mean,
like.
he's top 8 3 GPs in a row. He doesn't lose
No,
that
I just
often.
remember watching him play Legacy Cube once where he like messed up on a line of play and he's like, oh no, okay, yeah, no, I think I just lose here. And then he goes to his draw step and it's Ancestral Recall. And he's like, game of skill. And he's back in, right?
As for finding people to play with casually, that's tough, right? Check your local game store.
Sometimes they're just
That's
like,
the point, right?
Yeah,
the point
yeah,
of your LGS is to hang out and play Magic with people. We have a bunch of folks in our Twitch chat room who do fan drafts every week, which apparently is going to be trickier now because they're bringing in draft leagues and replacing the Swiss pairing drafts.
Can you do pairs against your friends lists?
No.
No?
No,
Okay.
that's something that people have wanted for a while, but no. So I don't know how that's going to work, but at least for casual constructed games, pardon me, there'll be people in the chat room there who I'm sure are keen to play. But that's for Magic Online. But I
And
guess just try your LGS.
And many larger cities will have like casual games groups. Like if you live in Seattle, there's like Lady Planeswalkers, and there's a Lady Planeswalkers chapter here, and stuff like that. So there may be something along those lines in your hometown where it's just like not necessarily for like doing top tier GP testing, but going and drinking some pop or a beer and sitting around the kitchen table and playing some Magic with people, once every 2 weeks or something like that. Or, at your same deal but at the local game store.
Mm-hmm. And like the casual groups can go across formats, right? Like I would never call Highlander casual Magic, but it's chill Magic, right? Like it's the chillest group of spikes you'll ever hang out with as you're jamming like vintage decks, basically against one another. But yeah.
There are resources out there.
Yeah.
I hope that your Magic journey goes well.
Yeah.
All right.
And those are the questions that James pulled aside. I know there was more. Sorry that we didn't get to it, but we're already over an hour, so that's going to do it for this week. Enjoy Conspiracy 2, everybody, because we're excited to play it. We're actually
I'm looking forward to it.
You won't be seeing this in time, but we're actually drafting it tonight, so we're looking forward to that. Until next time. This podcast and all of our podcasts and content and basically everything we do is brought to you by you and your kind support of us either subbing on Twitch or to our Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. Really appreciate it if you check that out because it lets us do all the stuff.
And thank you for your support.
Yeah. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye.